What's up, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to do a video on the Bear Epoxy floor. It's a 1-year review. I've had this for 1 year now, and I'm going to show you what it looks like. I'm getting a lot of questions how it looks like, the floor looks like after a year, and you can see this is what it looks like. The only complaint I really have out of all of this is the caulking, which I knew wouldn't hold up. It is starting to like dry or pull back and not hold up anymore. So that's a bummer, but you can see over here where the chair, I work every day out here. This is what I do for a living, and I'm moving this chair around every day, a couple times, more than a couple times a day, and you can see that it is fine. There is no chipping. Everything looks good. The floor, I haven't had any kind of chipping whatsoever on this floor. It is looking great. Now, it all goes back to my prep and how I did it, and I really think that's what did this in so well. Now, some people might say, but Matt, you haven't driven a vehicle on that yet. Right, I haven't, and I'm not going to because I make money in my garage. But I really think if I drove a vehicle in here, this would be fine. Again, it goes back to the prep. I acid washed everything. I washed everything, then acid washed it, and I didn't think it was good enough, so I went back, acid washed it again, then I pressure washed the whole floor to clean it. And you know, you gotta degrease it and then do all that, but it went good. I think that's the main thing with people is they're not doing the quality prep before painting it. So it's honestly, unfortunately, I've dropped a laser on here, and it didn't chip the concrete, didn't chip the paint. I don't know how it didn't. And then I've dropped, I don't know how many glass and everything else, you name it, wrenches. We do some really big wrenches for a company, and they're stainless and they're 1/2 inch thick, and I've dropped those before on the floor, and it held up. I really have no complaint. I've spilled gas on here, paint thinner on here, what was the rubbing alcohol, and nothing's wrecking it. Oil falls on here. That's kind of nice when like the oil or anything falls on there. You can wipe it up really nice because it sits on the top, so it's not going to soak into the pores and destroy the concrete or the paint and make it lift because it's sealed. It's really good. So, and that was the other thing is, a lot of people, I'm thinking also, like if you go back to the videos where I'm doing all the prep, I did sealing of the concrete like they asked. And I think a lot of people skip that step also, and I'm wondering if that's what also really helped cure this. But again, I etched this garage floor twice because I don't think it did a good enough job the first time. And then I went weaker, if I remember right, on the acid because it called for more water to dilute it, and I went less, and I did that the second time I went less, so it was stronger. And when you put your hand across the floor, it really was rough feeling, and that's what they wanted. So the other question I get is this slippery? So the main reason why I wanted to go with the 1-part epoxy from Bear is it's not slippery. So when I'm walking in through this door with customers and it's raining out or it just got done snowing and they come in here, my vinyl floor in there has rugs all over it because that's slippery. When you come in here, it's not slippery. I didn't want the 2-part because then it's going to be slippery. So I went with the 1-part, and it's not as slippery, and it's more of a dull finish because I didn't want to have to be mopping my floor. I didn't want to shine. My floor isn't the main piece of my shop, in my opinion. It's my machines that's going to make me the money. So I went with the 1-part because I didn't want it slippery, and I didn't want to have to do, they say it's to put down silica sand, I think it is. And I didn't want that because I want it to be a smooth floor, and this is just what I wanted, so I did it. And then the other question I'm getting a lot of is flakes. How are the flakes holding up? What are those like? Are they slip resistant and such? So when you rub your hand across the floor, you can feel the flakes. So I would like to think that it is slip resistance and helps, you know, so you're not going to slip. But I don't know. I can't say that it is or isn't. But what I can say is after putting them down, they haven't come up. So once it all dried and you sweep your, like I went in there and sweeped my whole floor. And as I did that, all the chips came up, was like kind of scary. I was like, whoa, there's a lot of chips coming up. But you couldn't tell when I was done. So I'm sure it's a lot of chips that stuck together, and you work them loose. Just used a stiff brush, swept it all out, and that was it. We're done. And I moved right in. So the chips have been good. They don't come up. They aren't breaking loose. I haven't, since then, for all the times I've swept in the floor, I have not once lifted any chips. Thought about one time coming out here mopping the floor, because you can see the foot traffic, and especially around my desk area where it's really starting to turn a little brownish, but we live on a gravel road, so I expect that, and it's just part of it. And then with the flakes also, when I put them down, I do wish I would have been a little thicker, because there is some bare spots, but that's my fault. I recommend for anyone that's doing this to throw it basically up by the ceiling, let it even hit the ceiling and let it disperse like that, because when I did that in the section over there, that looked a lot nicer, and I wish I would have done that through the whole garage. You have to look back at the video, but I think it was a 3/4 of a bag left, and I wish I would have used that 3/4 up on the floor, because there is some spots where it really didn't get it, but it's not the end of the world either. So there you have it. I like the floor. I'm glad I did it. And all the haters out there, don't care. You can say what you want. This is awesome. I love it. And if you're going to do it, I'd say your prep. Big time with your prep and let her buck. Again, I don't park vehicles on here, but I can't see why it wouldn't hold up for what I have running through here for traffic, foot traffic alone. And then all the packages coming in and out, metal carts we're wheeling in and out. So I think it's good. I like it. I love the way it turned out. And if I ever get to shop another day, I'm going to do the same thing. So, and you're going to see another video about it, of me doing it again, to show all the haters that it works. Glad you got to see me again. Bye.